Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Let's Buy a Used Boat. It will be fun. I'm just kidding. In the last video over here, guys, I talked about changing the thermostat up here on my 150 Verado, and here's a couple pictures of what that looked like. It had some stones in it and the motor wasn't getting up to temperature, so we rectified that problem. But in the meantime, I bought new coils and new spark plugs. So while I got a chance between, a busy fishing schedule, I thought today'd be a good day to tackle that before we get to the fall. And it's one of those maintenance items anyway. So I went ahead and I took off a piece off the back of the motor to access everything here. Pretty straightforward, and it looks like I need 8mm socket to take the retaining things out for the coils, and then just got to unclip them all. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and then show you how we get the coils out and then how we go ahead and change spark plugs. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is unclip each of the electrical connectors here. They just all pop off of the coils. Again, pretty straightforward. And then it looks like 8mm socket to take out the retaining bolt for each coil. So I'll go ahead and I'll get all of those loosened off and we will twist the coils out. Again, you don't want to use power tools to break them loose in case you strip them or they're too tight. And I can see on here there's blue Loctite, so I will get that medium strength Loctite out when we're putting this back together. So now to get the coil out, it should just be a case of twist and turn, and there it goes, comes right out. Easy. And then the spark plugs down inside there are going to need an extension and the correct size socket for it. So I'll pull all of these out, and actually I'm going to grab a marker and mark each one for which number it is, just so I know for future reference. All right, guys, coils are all out, all 4 of them. I labeled them in case I need to use them in the future, or I'll keep them for spares. Excuse me. I grabbed proper size socket, which in this case is 5/8. Make sure you guys use a spark plug socket which has the rubber insulator inside of it. I know you won't be able to see that, but that's so you don't break the ceramic tip of the spark plug. So I grabbed long extension. We'll get it down in there. Make sure it's sitting snug on the plug, as it were. And then gentle pressure, don't force it. And then just gentle, and do spark plugs always by hand, guys. Never use power tools. It's very easy to wreck the threads, and if you wreck the threads on the head, you'll need Healy coils, and that's a shop for your local repair shop, and it's not easy and it's not cheap. So there's one plug out. Actually looks like it's been running nice and clean. I'll set that aside, and I think we'll take all 4 out before we put the new ones in and do all 4 at the same time. So again, make sure your socket is on firmly. Okay, we got all the other plugs out, and I had already gapped these plugs prior to starting here, guys, and this calls for 0.8mm or 0.0315 of an inch. So again, no lubricant on the spark plug, and be super careful to get it in there straight and start it straight. And if it any restriction or doesn't feel like it's going, stop and back it out. Gotta be super careful, guys, doing spark plugs, because it's very easy to cross thread them or get them stuck in there if you're not familiar, and especially in a spot like this where you're using a long extension, you want to be super careful. All right, on to the last one, and I could look up in the book and see what the actual torque spec is for the plugs, but generally with spark plugs it's tight and then just snug it up with the ratchet. You never want to over tighten them. And snug like that, guys. course, my socket's got to get stuck now. Last one. All right, so that's it. I'm gonna go grab the replacement coils and we'll talk about those a little bit. All right, plugs are in and I got new coils here, and these are from Delphi Technologies. And when I did some research on getting the coils, a lot of guys on the Verado site suggested getting coils from an auto parts store. Delphi GN 10168 is the part number for this 150 Verado, versus getting them from Mercury, which gets them made from Delphi. So that's what I did, and I actually went to a company, an online parts store in Canada called Parts Avatar, and I ordered these 4 up, and it was significantly cheaper than going with the Merc ones. Hopefully I don't regret that, but according to the Verado site club on Facebook, guys have used these with no problems. So like I said earlier, I numbered all of the ones previous so that I can use them as spares, guys. And these ones look identical, got part number on them, and the install is exactly the opposite of taking them out. Just slide them up over the plug, bottom them out, and then we'll put the retaining bolt back in. I'll go ahead and do all 4 and check right back. So those bolts that held the coils in had blue Loctite on them, so I will put a little drop of blue Loctite on each one to reinstall them. All right, that's it. I got the coils all put in, all tightened down. For you Merc guys on the Verado, there's a washer right here that holds this plate on that the coils bolt to. I did have to grind a 1/4 inch off of one edge of the 2 washers, just because the coil mounting tabs are a little bit bigger than the Merc ones. So a small minor adjustment, everything's nice and tight in there. So all that's left to do is put on the connector till it clips in. All right, that's it, guys. That's changed the coils and the plugs on my Merc Verado 150. I just got to put the back plate on here and the latch for the cowl. I'll try it out on the lake here probably later this week, but for this video, I just wanted to show you guys that these are the kind of things that you have to do if you own, your own outboard and you're not taking it to a shop and you're comfortable doing some of these things at home. And for me, it's been a little bit of a learning curve. Just with this motor, it's something different than I'm accustomed to, but I seem to have all the bugs kind of finally worked out of it. After I changed the thermostat, it's running great, temperature's perfect. So because I had these parts, I thought might as well change them out. And for you Merc guys, I will include a link to this coil here from Parts Avatar, and I will also include them in this video description, just because stuff like this, guys, can save you some money. And if it's the exact same part, I mean, why not, right? So if I have any issues in the future, I'll circle back around to this and we'll touch on it then. But for today, you guys can do this stuff on your own. This was really a half-hour job. If I wasn't doing the videos and a couple other things here, I would have had it done in no time at all. So easy stuff for you guys to do. Take your time. If you're not comfortable with it, take it to a shop or get somebody that's got some experience to help you. But it's a very simple process, guys. So hopefully you guys like this vlog style stuff. I have got a lot of comments about working on the boat and the motor. So I just want to share that, these are the kind of things you're going to have to do if you own a slightly older used boat like I have here. So for now, 54 Bus is out of here. We'll catch you guys hopefully out on the water later.